And hey, y'all.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Laurie, and welcome to
Sumo Kaboom, where we talk about all things sumo.
That's right. And this week we are reliving the last basho, days 11 through 15. We're going to break down what happened there.
It was some good stuff.
It was some great stuff. And we also have some bingo winners for
That's
you.
right. Drum roll, please. Our winner came in, what was it, day?
It was early.
Day 12? I don't know.
Early. It was a solid early win, is all I recall. Our winner is Eric T.
Yay! Crowd goes crazy.
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about Eric T. He's originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's a good place. They have their skyline chili.
In the early 1990s, my uncle took a job in Hoshuryu, Gunma Prefecture. I hope I said that right.
You probably did it, but that's okay.
But that's okay.
I'm trying with us.
And his uncle started sharing a great deal about Japanese culture and language. This was during the rise of Akebono, and the American channels had begun showing replays and highlights more frequently. Of course, we all watched as he helped open the 1998 Nagano Olympics. I don't remember that.
Oh, I do.
Do ya?
Yeah.
That was way before I knew anything about sumo, so that is quite cool that Eric can remember that. The rivalries, heroes, Akebono, Musashimaru, and villains and storylines played up by the American networks had him totally hooked into the sport of sumo.
I love it.
I know. He wrote quite a bit about sumo, so let me tell you a little bit more.
I love it.
On its surface, sumo has all the trademarks of a fast and brutal contact sport.
It does.
But as you alluded to in one of your podcasts, it's like a 10-second chess match. Not just brute strength, but a dance of moves and counter moves, all happening in an instant. But deeper than that, I love the respect that permeates the sport. From the wrestlers, the fans, the whole culture, really, there's a reverence for the traditions of sumo. There's a sense among everyone that the things that came before me and the things that will come after me are more important than what I do in the present. And with that comes selflessness and mutual respect.
That's right, Eric
like a
T.
Novel. I
know. He should write a novel on sumo.
Yeah.
I so agree with all of that.
I do too. He says it's really tough to choose his favorite wrestler. He does favor the big-bodied Yotsu Zumo specialists. Me too. He says, I love watching the doyo crack when two of the 400-plus pound guys slam together. But for today, I'm going to say Tamawashi.
Yeah.
I want to show him some love as he is the ultimate Iron Man, never missing a day in his career.
Perfect attendance.
Also, he and I were born on the same day. So naturally, I always pull for my Mongolian twin brother. I'm also a big fan of Fuji, yeah, and Asanoyama, yeah, and hope they can both make the big push to the next level.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Eric.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well fought, well won. And he has chosen the Fig Jam. So we will be sending that out immediately.
But he's not our only winner.
We just thought this time through we would honor some other bingos because we want people to continue to play. It's so much fun. Somebody was like, I never thought I'd be cheering for Chiyoshima, but here I am, really pulling for Chiyoshima. And we think it's really fun. So we wanted to honor our second place bingo. And then, as my dad used to call it when I would lose at a track meet, he's like, kid, you just came in first from behind.
That's right.
So we'd like to give out some honorable mentions, or as my dad would say, first from behind award.
So who's our second place?
Sybil from Oregon. She had a beautiful bingo, by the way. We just asked her how she got into sumo. She said, my husband watched sumo here and there on YouTube for a few years. One day, it caught my attention, and I've been a fan ever since. Now my husband and I watch together. The first tournament I really watched was November 2018 when Takakei Show won. The first wrestler I recognized and knew by name was Tochiozan, and I was a big fan of him until he retired. It's hard to pick a favorite wrestler, but I'm very excited about Hoshuryu. Honestly, I love them all, heart, heart, heart. I admire all the hard work and dedication it takes. I always enjoy geeking out about sumo and learning all that I can about it. Yeah.
I'm so like you, Sybil. I love them all. I always want them all to win.
Except for Aoyama. But anyway, that's something we'll talk about later.
But angry Aoyama. That's the only one. That's the only time I don't
want him. Not when he's holding that adorable teacup poodle. Then it's like, then I like win. That Aoyama.
But the angry one that just pushes everybody, no, we don't want him to win.
We don't want him. All right. And to our list of beautiful, beautiful bingo players who got a bingo and
from behind.
First from behind. Danielle, Nora, Daniel, Owen. We have an Jose on Twitter, King of Salt, Mika Grimmer, Diego the 7th, Justin, also known as Siempre La Luna, and on Instagram, Milkfish2000.
All of those guys got a bingo.
Yes.
Just a little too late.
Just a little bit too late.
But congratulations on your bingo.
You played. You got in there and you played. Right. You gave it your all.
Because we didn't get a bingo. We tried, but we didn't get a bingo anywhere.
I'd also like to celebrate Thomas Griffin on Twitter, who said he had a grade A Olive Garden dumpster hot garbage card. So some people like Thomas, like us, we had terrible cards, but that's just part of playing. You get a better card next time.
Yeah, that's right.
There's always May. So congrats to Eric T. You have full bragging rights until May. Enjoy the jam. It's headed your way.
For all other 235 of you that were playing bingo with us, better luck in the future.
That's right.
Okay, well, let's go all the way back to day 10.
Day 10.
When last we spoke about this amazing March basho, it was the end of day 10, and Takayasu had a 2-win lead over anyone else. And we were just flat out giddy and trying not to like fly off into fantasy. Oh my God, Takayasu is going to win the Daisho.
It was really hard to not get ahead of myself.
Yes, but we were all so excited for him. He was looking strong. And I think following him was Asanayama, Fuji, Tobizaru, and there might have been more. But yeah, I'll let you take it from day 11.
All right, day 11. I'm just going to mention some things that go through my mind as I watch sumo. I'm not going to really talk about the match between Kaisei and Terutsuyoshi other than, does anybody else notice that like when Kaisei loses, he looks like he ate something bad and he might just be sick. But
I like his eye rolls. I just like, he usually looks up and goes, oh. like
he
teenager.
Kicks the can. Oh. I know. I really feel for these guys that show us that side. Like Onosho does it big time. Onosho is like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I like that. And I guess I kind of like that about Kaisei. Aoyama versus Yutakayama, though, this was the match that afterwards you can tell Yutakayama, he lost, but he is in major, major pain. And he looked like he was about to cry. And it
he always looks like he's about to cry, though.
I know. That's another one that kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Well, he just looks so stressed all the time, don't you think?
Yeah, he does. He does. He looks like he's tightly wound.
Yeah.
He needs a massage.
Yes.
Anyway, the pain looked like at this point it was coming from the right, very bandaged arm of Yutakayama, and he just really didn't use it much.
There was a lot of people that looked very hurt on this day.
Yeah.
And Yutakayama was just one of many.
Yes. Onosho versus Daiesho. Now, this was exciting to me because, I always love these guys going up against each other. But these guys, when they go at each other, it is like murder. It's kind of fantastic, but it is like bam, 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 bam. And then it's just sort of this crazy fast rhythm until Daisho steps back and sideways and Onosho flies forward into the dirt. It was brilliant and quick thinking from Daisho, but just always giving us exactly what we want from these two. Dynamic, powerful, strong, quick sumo.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about Fuji versus Takanosho. Takanosho, by the way, I've said it a million times. I love him. And he's plugging along. But this match was really fun because you know, Takanosho's wonderful, and so is Terunofuji. You
Well,
knew
they're both sekewake
yeah,
this time.
you just knew it was going to be electric. And whoa, this was like lightning. Terunofuji has this massive Tachiai. He immediately gets the right arm of Takanosho and pulls him forward and steps to the side of him. And now Terunofuji gets a deep backside grip on Takanosho. And then, like a principal escorts like a school child to the office, Takanosho, like he tried to turn around and kind of recenter himself, but Terunofuji had already advanced on him with momentum to the edge, and Takanosho was out. It was like, whoa, Takanosho didn't really even know what happened. It happened that quickly. And so for Terunofuji to do that to somebody who is so good just shows you the power of Terunofuji.
Yep. The power of Terunofuji. What was that? The power of Grayskull. That's what it is.
Like an 80s movie?
No, wasn't it like He-Man?
Wasn't it a cartoon?
Yeah, it was a cartoon, and He-Man was like, by the power of Grayskull.
Was it Skeletor?
Skeletor was the evil guy in He-Man, yeah. So now you're going to make me think of that whenever Terunofuji comes up. The power of Terunofuji.
I love it. All right, let's talk about Shodai versus Takayasu. Well, Shodai, he ignited the bear with this one because he angered that hibernating bear. You know, Takayasu always looks like a hibernating bear, but it was a big Tachiai, huge Tachiai. Shodai managed to get in. He wiggles in to get that double inside grip that he's good. He's good at getting. Takayasu tries his best to kind of wiggle back out of that predicament. But Takayasu tried to get a left-hand grip, but it's just not enough because Shodai was swinging him down and to the ground by that point. It was just that Shodai quickly got the belt and swung Takayasu down to the ground. It was hard to watch.
And what were you thinking at this point on day 11 about this loss?
Well, I thought, okay, it's just one.
Yeah.
It's just one. It's okay. Everybody else has to lose, and my boy can do it.
That's exactly what I thought. It's okay.
I think everybody did. We're like, it's okay. Just shake it off. It's just it's Shodai. Yeah, okay. But, well, all right. Next match, Takakei Show versus Kitty Bayama. Kitty Bayama had a really nice start. Mm-hmm. He was slapping away at Takakei Show, but Takakei Show is just better at that game. So he slaps back on Kitty Bayama, but in turn gets pushed back and out. It was like a typical Takakei Show win. Mm-hmm. And it was nice to see. It was just nice to see, okay, Takakei Show's, he's focused, he's doing his deal.
Yep. Last
match of the day I want to talk about, Asanayama versus Miyogiru. Now, at this point, Miyogiru was doing okay. Right?
He was the leader at day 5.
Oh, okay. Maybe
but then he had already dropped off the leaderboard.
What a story. We were like, could this be?
Yeah.
Could this be?
Could it be Miyogiru?
And then we're like, no, 7 in a row doesn't get you.
Okay. Could it be Takayasu?
We wanted, maybe it's us that's bad luck. Maybe it's who we hope for that ends up losing. Anyway, Asanayama and Miyogiru have a really spirited Tachiai, and Miyogiru tries to get inside, but Asanayama just gets the grip and stays too close to the chest of Miyogiru for that to happen. He is so good like that. And once Asanoyama has that big grip, he moves to get to the other side. He does, and that moves Miyogiru back and out. It was good. It was good, sharp, decisive sumo from Asanoyama.
Yes, so on that day, day 11, that was the first day that all 3 Ozeki won.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that it would be day 11.
Yeah.
But all 3 of them looked very strong then. Remember Chiyono Kuni was still in on day 11?
That seems like a month ago.
Doesn't it? Yeah. I only made note of it because he was taped up everywhere. Like everything on his body was taped up, and he was covered in scratches like he had been fighting large cats. Yeah. But he was still there. Tobizaru got his Kachikoshi on day 11.
Okay.
What all that means is in first place was Takayasu still.
By one.
By one.
It was possible.
Yep. And then right behind him, Asanayama, Terunofuji, Tobizaru.
That's right.
Okay. So, going into day 12. I'll just mention Kaisei up at the top here of day 12 again, because he completely covered himself on salt on day 12. And as a chronic undersalter myself, you know, I have to appreciate this technique. Just drown yourself in salt. It will clear your record and you'll do well. Except that it didn't really work that way for
No.
Kaisei, because Koto Eko came straight in and belly bounced a much larger Kaisei right out of the ring, and Kaisei gave that great look. Oh,
I can't believe it happened to me again.
I even used all the salt.
The salt didn't work. Oh, jeez.
Aoyama got his Kachikoshi against Daiamami or Daiamami. I'm not quite sure how you say it, depending on who says it. Really, the important thing here is that Murray said, Hisashiburi! Hisashiburi! And I was like, oh, I know that Japanese word, that Japanese phrase, Hisashiburi!
It sounds like Japanese twerking.
It's a great word, isn't it? Hisashiburi. And
What is
it means it's been a while.
Oh, I like it being a Japanese twerk.
Well, you could think of it that way, but just think it's been a while since you twerked, and then you'll remember it.
Okay.
Hisashiburi! Okay. Koto Shoho returned on day 12. He had gone out with an injury. I was totally shocked to see him back on day 12.
I just was like, what? All of this gets so jumbled in my head. I was like, well, oh, that guy, why was he missing? Like, it's so far back in my brain.
Isn't it?
I don't even know why he was gone.
I
know why, but not really.
He was coming back to snag a few wins to see if he could produce a slightly better record.
Right.
And it worked. Day 12, he got a win against Terutsuyoshi. So good for him.
Good for him.
Akisayama faced off with Hoshuryu on day 12. He denied Hoshuryu his Kachikoshi and got closer to one himself. Akisayama pulled a Yori Taoshi at the edge, and they showed this one in slow-mo so many times.
It was good slow-mo.
It was great slow-mo. Akisayama went down to the dirt as he pushed Hoshuryu out of the ring, and they awarded the win to Akisayama, but when you watch the slow-mo, Akisayama's belly obviously hits the clay first. And they talk a lot about the dead man's rule, right? Whoever's going out, if it's an unrecoverable position, they lose. But this one was so interesting because Akisayama has such a large belly. And it was so obviously
a lot of dead man.
Yeah. on the doyo. There was a lot of smack talk about this on the Facebook boards and on Twitter. I mean, people were very much against this ruling, but you can't fault a big belly.
I was just so excited that he won.
I was too.
I don't care how it comes to him. If he wins, I am a happy girl. I love me some Akisayama.
It was some solid sumo against a very fast competitor. Hoshuryu is incredibly quick.
Yeah.
And I think Akisayama should be very proud of this one. Midori Fuji returned with his bum ankle on day 12, but still lost to Ichinojo, so maybe he should have taken the day off.
He was really hobbling post-bout.
Yeah.
Like, really hobbling.
Yeah. He just joined that long list of people that looked hurt. Tochinoshin would be on that list.
He's always on that list.
Meisei got his Kachikoshi against Tobizaru. Now, this is important because Tobizaru was still on the leaderboard. He was in second place, but Meisei was all over him. Tobizaru tried to hold Meisei back with his long arms and legs outstretched behind him, but Meisei simply overpowered him and essentially knocked Tobizaru off of the leaderboard.
He'll remember that.
Wakataka Kage met Daiesho and learned how to take those pushes. He simply turned Daisho towards the bales and slapped him down with a hitakekomi. So Wakataka Kage got his Kachikoshi.
It was quick.
Takayasu met his rival, Hokuto Fuji, on day 12. Their history it's an even rivalry. Okay, and at this point in the broadcast, this is when the announcers were really laying it on thick for Takayasu, saying things like, Takayasu needs to win all of his remaining bouts, and he's never had a better record than 12-3. Can he do it? Okay, well, we all knew that in the start, Hokuto Fuji was just gonna come barreling, screaming out head first, like, crazy man that he is. And that is just what he did. Big, huge hit at the top as we were all watching this. What is going to happen to Takayasu? Takayasu lifted a bit with his right arm after this Tachiai. He turned Hokuto Fuji and followed perfectly by moving forward and pushing Hokuto Fuji over the bales. He looked confident.
Yes.
And I thought at this point, okay, day 11 was just a blip.
Right.
Takayasu's still in the lead.
Right.
He's going strong.
He's going all the way, baby.
Yes. Yes, it's day 12. Okay. Great. Glad you were thinking the same thing. Okay. Terunofuji met Tamawashi on day 12. Tamawashi grabbed Terunofuji's arm, rocked him balance. And at this point, I got really nervous.
I did too.
I was.
I mean, well, I love them both, but I was like, all right. They're very similarly built as far as height goes. And I was like, okay, if somebody can take Terunofuji down, it might just be Tamawashi.
Okay, and we were not alone because the audience gasped at this point because it looked like Terunofuji was going out not once, but twice.
Yeah, it was very sloppy.
Yeah, Tamawashi leaned in for that Nodowa attack, and he overextended. Terunofuji broke the grip, threw Tamawashi to the dirt. We were all relieved, but it was Terunofuji's 9th win, securing those 33 wins that he needs for the Ozeki promotion. So after this fight on day 12, I relaxed a little bit for Terunofuji. I thought, okay, he's going to get his Ozeki promotion. I can feel better. He's not in the lead. He doesn't have that pressure. It was looking good.
Yep.
Okay, upright Asanayama met Mitakayumi. Immediately got his favorite grip on the belt, quickly walked Mitakayumi back and out, looking all the Ozeki that he is.
Yes.
Bobbly-headed Ashodai met Takanosho with a huge hit and took him down with some sort of move that I misspelled so badly that I have no idea what it is. What I wrote was Uwateshita-tenage.
Wait, on day 12?
Day 12.
Ashodai versus Takanosho?
Yes.
It was Hitakikomi officially.
See, that makes it even better that I wrote Uwateshtanage.
You know, sometimes it's hard to tell because the commentators say what it is and then they're like, oh, just kidding, they called it something else.
Yeah.
It's hard for everyone. Look, if Murray or Hiro can't exactly pin what it is, like, you can't expect us to know what it is remotely.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
My notes were a pull, period.
That would be a pull. Okay.
And it was like a slap down.
Oh, that probably was the discussion. Was it a slap or was it a pull?
Pull down. Was a hand pull down or a slap, yeah.
And to me, it probably looked like a uwatanage, like pull over. Yeah, okay, now it's making more sense. Okay, Takakei Show got his kachikoshi against Okinoumi on day 12.
Okinoumi.
Well, and this one was great because it looked like he was pushing a friggin' car across the road with this low, deep push of this big man who was like, I am not going out. But then he did. So all Ozeki won again on day 12. Maybe they just needed 10 days to warm up. They were doing great. So at the end of day 12, first place, Takayasu. Second place, Terunofuji and Asanayama because Tobizaru lost.
That's right. Day 13. I'm just going to jump to my first favorite, which was Akisayama versus Yutakayama. And I wrote, I am telling you, this man defies everyone. Up top, he clearly doesn't have the grip that Yutakayama does on him, okay? So he gets backed up to the edge, but when he gets there, he, kind of like a weeble wobble, does this beautiful 2-point turn and now has Yutakayama on the ropes. And then he finishes him off with this push over the bales, like with his big belly and chest. It was just beautiful. You just always expect him to just, I don't know. Is it because I always expect him to like not deliver? And then when he delivers, I'm so excited for him just because you think he can't. You just think he can't, but he can. He's really wonderful. This is also though, like I said before about Yutakayama, this is the day his arm is friggin' toast.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to cry.
Yeah, he walked off of the doyo like it was in a cast. It was like off to the side and bent. And I was like, oh, there's something majorly wrong with that arm. But Akisama got the win. So, is that good? I don't know. Let's talk about Hoshuryu versus Kagayaki. Kagayaki has a really strong initial advance. He moves Hoshuryu back very well, but his last push misses his target. And that is when Hoshuryu quickly makes his move inside, gets the double inside grip. Kagayaki does a good job of lifting up, though, on Hoshuryu's arms and squeezing, but it's just not enough. So Kagayaki resituates himself, and just then, the most beautiful, fast, and surprising leg sweep from Hoshuryu pounds Kagayaki to the floor. Kagayaki was like stunned. He was like, how did I get here? It just happened so quickly, so beautifully. And that was beautiful work on Hoshuryu's part.
Yeah, I agree. I think they called it a double inside leg trip.
Uchigake.
And I wondered, how do you do a double inside leg trip?
Like in my mind, that would be like,
you need both legs.
You'd have to, use both legs.
Like koala bear.
Yeah, like
koala
straddling
bear
from the front, and maybe we'll go back and watch it and be like, was it?
How is it a double? Yeah.
I don't know. Uchigake is officially, Uchigake officially is an inside leg trip. So it wasn't a double. It was just a single. Because a double,
right?
Like, does that exist?
I don't know.
Straddling. I mean, for you and I, if we were in there and we had to just survive, you and I might try that. Double inside leg trip. Otherwise known as just straddling in the air. I didn't bold any other matches from this day, even though I wrote a whole bunch about each one of these matches. Maybe it was just like too overwhelming for me. I will talk, though, about the biggest one of the day, which is Takayasu versus Wakataka Kage.
Okay.
This is obviously the match of the day. Takayasu, I have to calm myself. He needed this win, and Wakataka Kage just wasn't going to give it to him easily. It was an unbelievable match. So this very quick moving Wakataka Kage was all over the place in this match. And Takayasu spent much of the match just trying to catch up to this wiggly and fast moving Wakataka Kage. At the top, there was a big Tachiai. Wakataka Kage tries to get inside, but Takayasu keeps him at bay. Takayasu then tries to push down on the neck of Wakataka for a slapdown, but Waka just won't fall to the dirt. So Wakataka Kage stays close, and he's inside, moving Takayasu backwards. After that, Wakataka Kage advances on Takayasu now. But then Takayasu reaches forward for Wakataka Kage's belt, and he stumbles a bit. The crowd was like, but he stayed up. He did not hit the dirt. Wakataka Kage then moves backwards, making Takayasu follow after him. He's shifting laterally around the ring, circling around on Takayasu. Finally, after a bit of a little bit of hand slapping, Takayasu goes for the Nodowa on Wakataka Kage. And right at the edge, Wakataka Kage steps to the side, pulls down on the hands of Takayasu, and he steps away. Takayasu then lunges forward into the air, but stays still up on his feet. Still. He turns and he lunges again back at Wakataka Kage. He's an angry bear at this point. Takayasu aggressively and exhaustedly advances again, thrusting at Wakataka Kage. He backs him up to the ring edge, but that's when Wakataka Kage grabs onto the right arm of Takayasu. He steps to the side again and tries to finish off Takayasu. But again, Takayasu also won't go down or out. So now Wakataka Kage turns back into Takayasu, grabs the deep right inside grip on Takayasu, advances to the other side of the ring. And Takayasu is going backwards and tries with his left arm to pull an underarm throw at the edge. But
this is the most detailed breakdown ever.
I have watched it like I needed to study it for a future
therapy.
Exam. Yeah, for therapy, exactly. But both of them, they managed to go down. Takayasu hits the ground first. Yeah, it was so hard for me to say that.
But there was a mono-e.
There was a mono-e, and they kept it the same. It was a frontal crush out for Wakataka Kage. But in my mind, it was like watching some of the best sumo from Takayasu, and it just went unrewarded. Because even at the edge, I was like, he had it. And then he didn't. And then I went upstairs and probably cried myself to sleep.
Yeah, I don't think I saw you for a couple hours. It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. I was just like, his child. What's this child going to think of him? He can't bring the Yusho home to his brand new baby. Or his wife.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
What do you think happened?
It was incredible sumo. Wakataka Kage is so good and so fast.
Yeah.
Takayasu did everything in his power to follow him and to not be tripped up by such a fierce and fast-moving, wrestler.
Yeah.
He was so agile and so quick himself. It's just one of those things that happens at the edge. And we've seen it in other matches where the other guy gets the win, and it almost seems like luck. But they both did a great job in this match.
They did.
It gave us everything we wanted in sumo. It just, my favorite wrestler did not come out on top.
Yeah.
But this is almost as much as I wrote about this last one. Feel free to edit. Takakei Show versus Asanoyama. Now, this was also a big, big match. This was two meatballs fighting it out.
That's a great description.
Because Asanoyama can't get a grip at the same time, though Takakei Show has these powerful thrusts that are just blunted by Asanoyama's force. And initially there was some slaps, some circling, but Takakei Show gets moving backwards up top where it looks kind of like Asanoyama is going to muscle him back and out. But Takakei Show, he circles around and does a couple of huge right arm thrusts onto Asanoyama. Asanoyama takes these punches calmly and he thrusts back. There were a few equally shared thrusts and huge nodowa from Asanoyama to Takakei Show that takes Asanoyama to the edge. But Asanoyama steps to the side and Takakei Show goes stumbling forward, but he still stayed up. He was not going out. So Asanoyama zeroes back in on Takakei Show, who is now at the ring's edge with his stumbling forward. And Takakei Show turns back, though he tries to face Asanoyama, who seizes that vulnerable moment and squarely pushes Takakei Show over the edge. The weird part about this is that Asanoyama was just a little bit too far forward because Takakei Show, at that time he was being pushed over the edge, he nudges his body kind of backwards so that Asanoyama misses his target with full force. And then Takakei Show's feet at the time were just dancing, just tickling the Tawada. And he slaps down on the back of this lunging forward Asanoyama who hits the dirt. So it was another match where it's oh my God. These guys are really great at fending off the other.
Yeah, it was a great Ozeki showdown. They both looked so good and so strong in this match.
Yeah, they did. It was exciting. It was a Takikomi slapdown.
And a bloody lip.
And yeah.
Takakei Show got a bloody lip.
Yeah.
He had blood all over his lips.
Little
and looked
blood
like
mustache?
Yeah, like lipstick. He looked like he was wearing lipstick.
I don't know if that's a sight I'd really want to see, but hey, to each his own. I don't have much to say other than Ashodai and Terunofuji. Terunofuji won. Ashodai's just kind of been looking sloppy, and he's just not been in the game. So.
Okay, when I watched that fight, Terunofuji versus Ashodai, and Terunofuji immediately got that Mawashi grip and ushered Ashodai out without any question. That was the 10th win for Terunofuji.
Yeah.
So that, to me, was they cannot ignore his Ozeki promotion now.
No.
So for me, I went to extreme happiness after that. And I thought, oh my God, in the matter of 3 or 4 bouts, this is why I love sumo, because it went from Heartbreak, the Takayasu, Heartbreak, to Terunofuji triumph.
Yeah.
In the matter
Although
of
I felt
just a few
it was
matches.
Inevitable. I mean, Terunofuji has so much momentum on his side. I was how could you not give him Ozeki at this point?
But to me, looking at him, your last 3 days are all Ozekis.
Yeah.
You could not get tougher matches anywhere. These are the toughest guys.
Yeah.
And I hope your body stays together and I want you to win them all. But I was still nervous until this win. And then I was like,
okay. Yeah.
So thrilled. I loved this day of sumo just because of that emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it was bittersweet, maybe, or I don't know. For me, it was I couldn't get past anything but Takayasu, but
I know.
I did appreciate the rest of the sumo. It was great sumo.
Yeah, but he was still tied.
Yeah.
At that point,
it's still a possibility.
It's still a possibility. He was tied with the rest.
Aoyama, though, who were like, how did he get up there? That guy.
That is true. When he showed up on the leaderboard on day 14, I was like, Aoyama, how did he sneak in there? Huh. Okay, day 14. Yutakayama finally went Kyujo.
Finally, thank God.
And we all cheered and said, yeah, go home, take care of yourself, buddy. Aoyama met Wakataka Kage and grabbed Wakataka Kage, threw him out of the ring like he weighed absolutely nothing. Aoyama's long arms, speed, and strength just flipped Wakataka Kage by the shoulder. It was truly a terrifying kotenage.
It was.
Yeah. It took Wakataka Kage to 9-5 and Aoyama to a surprising tie with the co-leaders. Takayasu. I'm skipping all the way to Takayasu.
Can we just skip over it?
No, we have to.
I know that this is the hardest match of my life to watch. This one.
He met Tobizaru.
I hated it.
On day 14.
I hated it.
Takayasu kept Tobizaru right in front of him early. He stayed calm. Tobizaru tried a foot sweep. He changed tactics right and left. Takayasu grabbed Tobizaru by the belt. And I thought, he's got him. He's totally got him. Yeah. He had his favorite grip. And he took this breathing break. And I thought, okay, he's just going to take a break. He's going to throw Tobizaru to the dirt. Tobizaru went for another foot sweep at this moment. Takayasu backed him up to the bales. On his way out, Tobizaru moved to one side, and though they were both going out at the same time, Takayasu's knee went down first as they both flew off the doyo. Oh! And of course, this is the moment where...
But like, where's the mono-e?
Well, not only that, but this is the moment where the TV cameras went right in close to Takayasu's face. And we watched him turn around and go, is there a mono-e? Who won? Who won? Who won? A mono-e was called, but it went the way of Tobizaru. And this is when, again, my heart broke. It was more than disappointing. It was...
Plus, Takayasu was the aggressor in the moment, I felt like, at the edge. But that just big old knee hit first.
This was truly, losing at the edge again. Yeah. The way he had before. Honestly,
and I love Tobizaru.
I do too, but I screamed like it was a horror movie at this point. I was seriously like, no! Because it was just, oh my God, I don't know what happened. What do you think happened? Was he not aggressive enough?
No, I think he just was victim the last 3 bouts. It's just he was victim to magic at the edge. And yeah, he came into that bout with everything. It just didn't go his way. That's a weird thing about sumo, is that somebody can show up and do better sumo in the ring. It kind of usually, a wrestler like Ashodai, it benefits Ashodai. You're like, how do you win that? Just sneaky. But sometimes it just benefits another wrestler, and you're like, but he clearly was sloppier, or he clearly, but this one, Tobizaru was great too. This one I can't say that Tobizaru was all the way around sloppy. It was just 2 really great people. One hit the dirt first, and it happened to be Takayasu.
It's interesting that they were smaller, more agile wrestlers.
Yes. Well, and I think that's the case, though, for a lot of wrestlers. They don't know what to do with somebody who's so much tinier. Yeah, for some people, some wrestlers like Takayasu, taller with their bigger belly. An opponent like Tobizaru that's just more difficult than going belt to belt with somebody who's similar in size.
Yeah.
He can get more leverage on that. With this, I don't know, maybe he can't get as good of leverage. I don't know. But my heart broke into a million pieces.
And I think you're not alone. All of us were like, oh, we thought you had it, buddy. We really did. Okay, Takakei Show cannonballed Ashodai to move to 10-4, leaving Ashodai with a 7-7 record.
Yeah.
Still looking for his Kachikoshi on day 4.
Not a good tournament.
Nana Show, Nana High. Terano Fuji versus Asanayama. And I think it's fair to say there was a really big build-up for this fight as well. Now that Takayasu had lost, Terunofuji just had to win this in order to snatch the lead. And my first notes for this fight were damn yet again. Asanoyama jumped in at the Tachiai with both arms extended. That allowed Terunofuji to go right in, chest to chest. Asanoyama rocked Terunofuji right and left. Asanoyama tried to throw, but it didn't work against this enormous man. But it was scary, and all of us in the audience thought, oh, no. It looked like it could have been successful on anybody else, but it was not on Terunofuji. Terunofuji then went on the offense and rocked Asanoyama back and over the bales for a win. It makes it sound really simple. It was very hard fought.
It was a great match between two very well-matched wrestlers. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, both men showed enormous balance. They kept their feet right underneath themselves. The audience loved it. They were all just screaming inside, but gasping on the outside. I was screaming at home for them.
She was. I heard her upstairs.
Oh! So, at the end of day 14, Terunofuji now had the lead for the very first time with an 11-3. Takayasu, Takakei Show, and Aoyama, where did he come from? Trailing right behind at 10-4. So we were all ready and waiting for day 15 on pins and needles, super excited and nervous.
Yes, very nervous. All right, day 15. We watched this together. It was a pretty exciting day. Hidenoumi versus Hoshuryu match. That was really a fantastic back and forth between these two wrestlers. They threw everything but the kitchen sink. Everything and the kitchen sink, or everything but the kitchen sink?
I think everything but, yeah.
Yeah, well, this one he might have thrown the kitchen sink, but they really came at each other. Hidenoumi doing like some amazing defense there. There were a number of leg trips, as you would expect, a number of Watanage throws that didn't really land from Hidenoumi and Hoshuryu, but at the edge there was some serious magic again. And Hidenoumi resisted every single one of Hoshuryu's feisty moves and leg trips. Finally, it ended with a beautiful Tsukinage throw, and that was it was pretty. It was pretty sumo to watch.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Wakataka Kage versus Hokuto Fuji. Hokuto Fuji blasted out with one arm out to the face of Wakataka Kage, who shifted to the side slightly, and then he came around to the backside and finished him off with an extra slap to the back as Hokuto Fuji flung himself forward, basically right off the Tachiai. It was quick, and it was like over in a blink of an eye, but it was fun to watch. This match between Akisayama versus Daisho, this one you just go in assuming Daisho is going to win, and
not me,
right? But it was nice to see that Akisayama is just so feisty. I mean, yeah, in the end, Daisho's powerful Tsubari attack on the second advance is really what was key to winning. Akisayama, he stayed in there. He's like a little fighter, and even when he loses, you're like, he gave Daisho a real run for his money.
I think I said this to you yesterday, but I loved that matchup simply because who would have thought that this rotund little guy from Juryo who ends up in the top division is now fighting the winner of the last basho.
Yeah, he seems to like accidentally do well, but then the more you watch him, you're like, no, he's so skilled. He's very good. He doesn't look like somebody who has massive skills, and he does.
And he took him on well.
He did.
Really well.
All right, so this next match, Aoyama versus my boyfriend, again was so nervous for my boyfriend. I just want him to go home and like recoup, see his baby girl and recharge, because Takayasu up top tries a slap down, but it just doesn't work. Aoyama retreats backwards, also tries to do a hitaki komi slap down, and it does work. So Aoyama wins. I hate it. I hate it. And Takayasu needed this to get to the Yusho, went like a playoff. It was like this last effort. Like if he could have won over Aoyama, we might have seen. And this is assuming Terunofuji lost, but still.
What do you think happened there?
What do you mean? Between Takakei Show and Terunofuji?
No. When I look back at this fight with Takayasu, like I wonder if it's the disappointment from losing the other ones, If you were shining if you as a star were shining so bright and then you lose your lead and you drop one behind, it's really hard to get back up there and be like,
you're defeated a little bit. But Aoyama was, if you watched him pre-bout, he was like super pumped, like more pumped than you normally see him. So I think he had a little bit of gas in the tank, a little bit more than Takayasu going into it.
Well, there was that special prize on the line, too.
Yeah.
It was just like another loss. Another loss for Takayasu at the end. It was just like a gut punch.
It was.
Honestly.
But you know who had a really nice match? That was Takanosho versus Tochinoshin. He had this massive, wonderful pushing attack on Tochinoshin, and he just finished him off quite simply, quite easily. But let's talk about Takakei Show versus Terunofuji.
Okay.
Takakei Show came out with like just huge, like a huge Tachiai, which he normally does. Terunofuji stops the charge though, and he advances back. But Takakei Show tries this armbar throw, but Terunofuji wiggles out of it and he pushes back. He squares off on Takakei Show and wins with a push out. And at this moment, we knew that's the winner of the Yusho.
Yes,
and he had to get past Takakei Show. So I do think it was maybe a mistake, Takakesha trying to pull a throw on somebody who's like a full foot taller than him. But, you know, hey, that shows you just the ego that Takakesha has. And it does work. You know, I just didn't think he was in the right position to be able to try to throw Terunofuji. Like, who tries to throw Terunofuji? Have we ever seen...
Asanayama tried it. Didn't work.
Have we ever seen a successful throw on Terunofuji?
That's a good question. I bet someone has.
I mean, maybe Hako, like somebody of the same height. I don't know. Anyway, we had a winner of the Yusho with that one. It was statistically impossible for anyone to catch up.
Yeah, although we were all worried. We were like, can he beat all three Ozeki? That was my question. Can he beat another Ozeki on the last day? And he did, removing any doubt that he is Ozeki material through and through. Yes. Not only is he Ozeki, he is like prime choice Ozeki.
Yes. Prime choice Ozeki. Good. The last, you know, who wasn't really looking like Ozeki material is Ashodai. Yeah. But Ashodai versus Asanoyama, it was a really spirited match. And there were a lot of really great moves, great calm perseverance by Asanoyama. But Ashodai lost. He is now Katabon for the next tournament. And, I hope it lights a fire under him. This tournament just seems like a little uninspired and sloppy. And I don't know. He's so much better. And so I think there's just something in him that maybe him being Katamon, maybe we'll see next time, like a little bit of spark, he's got to have a little bit more inspiration to perform better.
I thought it was interesting in the post-bout interviews that both Mitakeumi and Ashodai said, I don't know what's wrong. My sumo is just off, and I'm just going to have to talk with my coach and figure out what it is. I don't exactly know.
Well, I get that. Mm-hmm. I do honestly get that.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the Sanyaku. With Terunofuji going up, there's going to be some reshuffling. There's going to be a Sekiwake position there. And all the guys that are in Sanyaku right now got their Kachikoshi, so there's room for one, but who's it going to be? Meisei, Hokuto Fuji, not our M1s who had really terrible bashos. Yeah, it's going to be, the next basho is going to be exciting. There's going to be some new guys coming up from Juryo. That'll be fun to look into. I don't know much about. So it's going to be great.
That's right. And so we'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, you will hear from us. We'll have our weekly episodes talking about who knows what, some about sumo. We've got lots of good stuff coming up on the horizon. So make sure and give us a listen and give us a share and a like if you feel like it. Anyway, that is our style of sumo here at Sumo Kaboom.
See you next week.
That's right. Sayonara.
Bye, y'all.